Imagine walking into a place where time feels trapped, where silence clings to the walls like dust, and where every echo sounds like someone or something trying to whisper a warning. And now picture that this place once used to be a fully functioning German hospital, bustling with patients, doctors, nurses, and everyday life. But today, it stands abandoned, decaying, and hiding a mystery that has terrified urban explorers for years. The unexplained disappearance of the last remaining patients who were still inside when the hospital was abruptly shut down. A mystery so chilling that even official records seemed to dodge the truth, as if the entire place was erased from memory. And yet fragments of its story still leak out through rumors, hidden documents, and the strange recordings found by the few who dared to walk inside. Because according to the locals, the hospital didn't shut down because of lack of funding or relocation. No, the story is far darker, beginning with strange reports of patients wandering the halls at night, claiming they could hear footsteps that didn't belong to anyone, doors creaking open by themselves, sheets being pulled off sleeping patients, shadows lingering just long enough to be seen but never long enough to be identified. And then the disappearances began, one by one, patients vanishing without any medical explanation, with no CCTV footage showing them leaving, no staff seeing them exiting, nothing except empty beds with sheets neatly folded, as if someone or something carried them away, gently. Until one winter night, the remaining patients vanished all at once. More than a dozen human beings gone without a trace, leaving food trays untouched and wheelchairs tipped over in the hallways. And instead of launching a massive investigation, the authorities simply locked the building and marked it condemned. And from that moment forward, the hospital became Germany's most disturbing urban legend. But legends always have roots, and this one begins to feel terrifyingly real. When you hear what the explorers discovered inside, the hospital's main hallway still had medical files scattered on the ground. But the pages describing the final week of operation were missing, ripped out cleanly, as if someone didn't want the truth to be read. And on the upper floor, rooms seemed frozen in the exact moment of abandonment, half-finished treatments. Open drawers, monitors still plugged into dead outlets, and the faint smell of antiseptic lingering like decay. But the real horror started when they reached the psychiatric wing, where one explorer captured audio of faint knocking coming from behind a sealed metal door, despite the fact that the door had not been opened in over a decade, and before they could even convince themselves it was just old pipes or distant echoes. The knocking turned into slow, deliberate tapping that began to mimic their footsteps, and that was when they ran, yet the audio still exists, circulating in hidden forums where people argue whether the sound belonged to a human or something else entirely. And while most visitors come out shaken, a few have described something even more disturbing, seeing figures moving in the corner of their eye, shapes that resemble hospital gowns drifting past doorways. And one man claimed that he saw a pale figure sitting on a bed in the emergency wing, staring at him until he blinked, and then the figure vanished, leaving the sheets slightly wrinkled as if someone had been sitting there just a moment earlier. But the creepiest clue emerged when a local historian uncovered a forgotten letter written by one of the nurses who worked there during the final week. A letter never sent, found hidden behind a cabinet, and in that letter she wrote about a dark presence roaming the hallways, an entity that patients described as tall, thin, and always standing in the darkest corner of their room, watching, waiting, and appearing closer every night. Until the night it appeared next to the nurse station desk, but the letter ends abruptly, the pen stroke trailing off the page as if she was pulled away mid-sentence. And as if that wasn't unsettling enough, thermal recordings from explorers show cold spots moving down the hallway, not stationary like normal cold drafts, but moving, changing direction, almost as if something invisible was pacing. And those same explorers later reported intense migraines, heavy breathing sounds behind them, and one even claimed he felt a hand grip his shoulder, though no one was behind him, And today, people believe that whatever caused those patients to disappear is still inside, feeding on the silence and darkness of the abandoned halls, waiting for more visitors to step inside so it can follow them out. And somewhere inside the hospital, deep in the restricted basement, where no map exists, explorers found something that makes the entire mystery darker. A hidden room with scratch marks covering the walls, as if dozens of hands were desperately trying to escape. And on the floor, they found a rusted hospital bracelet with the date of the final night carved into it. Not printed, carved, and the name on it didn't match any official record. Raising one terrifying question: who was the patient who tried to scratch their way out? And why isn't the hospital willing to acknowledge their existence at all? And as you dive deeper into this mystery, you start realizing that places aren't abandoned without a reason. And stories like this don't survive for years unless there is something real behind them. Something dark, something that continues to wander those empty corridors. And if you're the kind of person who loves uncovering hidden disappearances, unexplained secrets, and places where reality bends into something far more terrifying, then Creepy Vanish is exactly where you belong. Because mysteries like this aren't just stories, they're puzzles waiting to be solved. And the more people join us, the more hidden clues we can uncover together as these unsolved vanishings continue to surface. Connecting dots nobody noticed before. And maybe, just maybe, the abandoned German hospital mystery will finally reveal its truth when more eyes start paying attention. Because behind every locked door in that building, behind every echo, behind every cold breath in the dark hallways, something is still waiting, and the only question left is whether the vanished patients were taken, or whether they became part of the hospital itself. Just another silent shadow wandering endlessly, forever trapped in a place that refuses to let the living walk away untouched.